Open mic time. Joining me is the great Donovan Lewis from Bad Radio on 1310 The Ticket. What's up, Donovan?
Nothing much, man. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Now, there are a lot of things to be upset about concerning DeAndre. Not only did he say yes and then backtrack, it prevents the Mavs from executing their backup plans, and apparently he refused to even tell Cuban face-to-face about the little change that he had. And it infuriated many of us, to say the least.
Yes.
Let's listen.
Okay. You had Mark driving round town, calling the ones you love, screaming, you. The 80 mil in your pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, you and Doc Rivers too.
The dulcet tones of the great Donovan and Jake Kemp there. So what really grinds your gears about this one?
You know, I really am not upset about him changing his mind. That happens. The only thing that he waited a long time to tell Cuban, and a lot of the other guys are picked over, so he just kind of held the Mavericks hostage a little bit by saying that he was going to agree, and then all of a sudden at the end changing his mind. So him not saying anything to Cuban, and still I don't think he's personally said, explain to Cuban what really happened. That's the only thing that messed me up. Him changing his mind, I'm okay, but just at least give us a little time to make the roster the best we can.
He also sent out that public apology on Twitter to Mark Cuban, the Mavericks, and the fans, and I still think that's an easy way out. Why don't you just call Mark Cuban, given just how unprecedented this is, and be mature about it, I guess?
You said it. It's the easy way out. You don't have to face anyone. You don't have to hear the disappointment in their voice. You just send a text and or a public apology, not even a text, just a tweet, and go about your business. So it's easy.
Now, even with Jordan, most of the other questions involving the Mavs surround the point guard position. They go with Darren Williams, who's played better at the American Airlines Center than any other venue. He's also had flashes of dominance, but completely underperformed his max deal. Is this pickup a good stew or Alpo?
No, it's a good stew, because if you would have gotten Darren here before, you'd be paying $22-23 million. Now you're paying $5 million. So if he's healthy, and that's a big if, he'll definitely be worth the $5 million that they're paying him for a couple of years. And he's the best point guard that we've had around these parts still in his state since Jason Kidd.
At the same time, though, Darren Williams has had a lot of run-ins with pretty much every NBA coach that he's had, from Utah to the Nets. And the Mavs have had a little bit of trouble with point guards and running in with their coaches lately. Are you concerned about that aspect of him?
Not really. I don't think so. I think he'll, because I think he wants to be here. And it's not the fact that, hey, you've been traded here, or it's him saying, hey, you know what? I got waived by the Nets. I want to come to Dallas. I want to play. So he and Carlisle will probably butt heads because they're both pretty hard-headed, but I think they'll work it out.
Now, this was on your radio station. Mark Cuban said had he not gotten DeAndre, they would have tanked.
Yeah.
Now, Cuban has since backtracked, saying guys like Wes Matthews and Zaza are signs they're trying to compete. Is he doing the right thing?
Yes, because he's not wired for tanking. That's not in his DNA. I guarantee you, if he said he wanted to take a step back the first month of the season, they lose some games, he'll get the itch, and he'll try to go out there and try to put the best basketball out there possible for the Mavericks and their fans. That's the way he's wired. That's exactly what he wants to do. That's one thing I never worried about. It surprised me when he said he wanted to take a step back, but I think that's just talk because he was so elated that he thought he had Jordan and Wes Matthews, so you can say stuff like that. He wants to put the best basketball out there possible.
And I think even the concept of tanking is a hard thing to swallow, given that you have fans who pay a lot of money to watch your games. So there's that, and also too, there's the sanctity of the NBA as well. It's not meant for a team to purposely lose games.
Right, and everyone thinks that you'll lose games for a couple of years, and then everything will be okay. Well, ask Philadelphia, and ask Orlando and Detroit and the Knicks. The Knicks lost a lot of games this year. They wound up picking fourth in a 3-player draft. So it's not guaranteed to work. I would rather you have relevant basketball around here, put the best team out there possible, and if you can win games, okay. If you can't win games, then that's when you start. But just try. I just want you to try. And I think Mark Cuban has try written all over him.